Good afternoon, everyone. Today and tomorrow we'll discuss only the fundamentals or basics in zoology. So, today we'll discuss the basics or fundamentals are levels of organization, and also phylums in kingdom Animalia. So these are the levels of organization and phylums in kingdom Animalia. These two basic topics are discussed today. The first one, levels of organization. In these levels of organization, the inorganic and organic components both are present. First one, in levels of organization, atoms. A group of atoms, it is also called molecules. Group of atoms is also called molecules, and group of molecules which forms cell. So cell is the structural and functional unit of body. So the cell is the structural and functional unit of the body. A group of cells which forms tissues. And a group of tissues which forms organ. Okay, first one, the inorganic components, atoms, a group of atoms which forms molecules, and a group of molecules which forms cell, and cell is the structural and functional unit of the body, and group of cells which forms tissues, and group of tissues which forms organ, and group of organs which forms organ systems. Then the group of organ systems which forms organism. So the group of organisms which forms population. Group of populations which forms community, and group of communities which forms ecosystems, and finally group of ecosystems which forms biosphere. It is the levels of organization. So the total levels of organizations are atom, molecules, cell, tissues, organ systems and organism, and group of organisms which forms population, and group of populations which forms community, and group of communities which forms ecosystem, and group of ecosystems which forms biosphere. Okay, these are the levels of organizations. Then phylums, will discuss phylums in kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia, in this kingdom Animalia, total 11 phylums are present. 11 phylums. In these 11 phylums, the first phylum is the Porifera. Porifera. It is a multicellular organisms. All poriferan animals are multicellular organisms. Before the porifera, a single cell animal is present. The single cell animal is belongs to the phylum Protozoa. It is the single cell and organisms like unicellular organisms. Example, amoeba. Phylum Protozoa includes the single cell organisms or unicellular organisms. Example, amoeba. It is a unicellular, but in porifera includes the multicellular organism. Multicellular organisms. Example, sponges. It is a multicellular organism. Multi cells are present but do not forms the tissue. మల్టీ సెల్స్ ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా ఏం ఫామ్ చేయవమ్మా అంటే టిష్యూస్ని ఫామ్ చేయవు. నెక్స్ట్ సెకండ్ ఫైలం నిడేరియా. సెకండ్ ఫైలం నిడేరియా. It is also a multicellular organisms and forms the tissues. In this Nidaria, example, Hydra. The second phylum is Nidaria. In this Nidaria phylums, the multicellular organisms are present. These multicellular organisms, multicells, which forms the tissue. And third one, Ctenophora. It is the third phylum. The first phylum is the Porifera, second one is the Nidaria, and third one is the Ctenophora. So in this Ctenophora, example, comb jelly. It is the third phylum. And the fourth one, Platyhelminthes. It is the fourth phylum. Example, flatworms. So these animals are presenting in this phylum Platyhelminthes and exhibits the triploblastic organization, first time seen in platyhelminthic animals. And next one, nematoda, nematoda. Example, roundworms, roundworms. These all are including in this phylum nematoda. Example, roundworms. Next one, Annelida, Annelida, phylum Annelida. In this phylum includes the earthworm, or example, earthworm. Phylum Annelida, example, earthworms. So these are including in this phylum Annelida. Next one, Arthropoda, Arthropoda. In this phylum Arthropoda, example, cockroach or Periplaneta americana. So these animals are presenting in this phylum Arthropoda. Next one, mollusca, phylum mollusca. Example, Unio. Next phylum, Echinodermata, Echinodermata. Example, starfish. Echinodermata, example, starfish. Next one, phylum Hemichordata, Hemichordata. Example, Belanoglosses, Belanoglosses. And finally, the last phylum is the Chordata. Last phylum is the Chordata. So the 11 phylums are present in kingdom Animalia. First one, Porifera. Second one, Cnidaria. Third one, Ctenophora. Fourth one, Platyhelminthes. Fifth one, Nematoda. And sixth one, Annelida. Seventh one, Arthropoda. And eighth one, Mollusca. Ninth one, Echinodermata. And 10th one, Hemichordata. And 11 Chordata. So these are the phylums including in kingdom Animalia. Okay, examples, phylum Porifera. It is the multicellular organisms are presenting in this phylum, but do not form the tissue because the sensory and nervous cells are poorly developed. Okay, so they do not form the tissues. Example, sponges. And phylum Cnidaria, example, Hydra. Phylum Ctenophora, example, comb jelly. And phylum Platyhelminthes, example, flatworms. Nematoda, roundworms. Annelida, example, earthworm. And Arthropoda, example, cockroach. And mollusca, example, Unio. And phylum Echinodermata, example, starfish. And Hemichordata, example, Belanoglosses. And finally phylum Chordata. So these all are the invertebrates, all are the invertebrates, and the chordates are the vertebrates. Next one, in this phylum Chordata includes pisces or fishes, fishes. Second one, amphibians, amphibians. And third one, reptiles. Fourth one, aves, and fifth one mammals. So these classes are including in this phylum Chordata. Class Pisces or fishes. Second one amphibians, class amphibians, class reptiles, and class aves, and class mammals. So these all are the belongs to the phylum Chordata. Next, the animals are mainly classified into two types. The animals are mainly classified into two types. One is the poikilothams and second one is the homeothams. Poikilothams and second one is the homeothams. First one poikilothams. The poikilothams, it is also known as the cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals. And homeothams, it is also called the warm-blooded animals. Warm-blooded animals. What is meant by poikilothams and homeothams? First one, poikilothams are cold-blooded animals. Poikilothams means these animals cannot change. The poikilothams, these animals change the internal body temperature, internal body temperature to their surrounding environment. It is also called the poikilothams. These animals change the internal body temperature to their surrounding environment. For example, it is the organism, these are the environment. In this environmental temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. The internal body temperature is 20. The environmental temperature is 30 degrees centigrade. These organism, the body temperature will change to their surrounding environment. So the organism's body temperature is 30 degrees centigrade. The environmental temperature is 32 degrees centigrade. The animal's body internal temperature is 32 degrees centigrade. So these animals, to change the internal body temperature to their surrounding environment, it is also known as the poikilothams or cold-blooded animals. Okay, next one, homeothams are warm-blooded animals. Homeothams, these animals cannot change their body temperature to their surrounding environment. It is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. These animals cannot change their body temperature to their surroundings. So surrounding environment, it is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. Okay, these animals cannot change their internal body temperature to their surrounding environment. It is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. For example, mammals. So like human beings, example humans. In human beings, the internal body temperature is always constant. So the homeotherms to maintain the constant internal body temperature, it is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. In human beings, the constant or internal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade or 98.4 Fahrenheit. 98.4 Fahrenheit. So in this environment, the temperature is 40 degrees centigrade, but the internal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. In environmental, temperature is 35 degrees centigrade, but this internal body temperature cannot change and always maintains constantly 37 degrees centigrade. So the internal body temperature, they do not change their surrounding environment. It is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. Okay, next one, poikilotherms. Example Pisces are fishes and also amphibians. So these two classes which exhibits the poikilotherms are cold-blooded animals, Pisces and amphibians. Okay, next homeotherms. Example reptiles, aves and mammals. So these three classes are homeotherms: the reptiles, aves and mammals. Reptiles means lizards, okay, aves birds and mammals human beings. So the reptiles, aves and mammals, they do not change their internal body temperature to their surrounding environment. It is also known as the homeotherms or warm-blooded animals. Homeotherms are warm-blooded animals. These are the classes, examples of the classes in poikilotherms and also the homeotherms. Next, the basic points. Diploblastic animals and triploblastic animals. Diploblastic animals and triploblastic animals. Diploblastic and triploblastic animals. What is meant by diploblastic animals? Diplo, di means two. So the animals which contains two germ layers, it is also called diploblastic animals. The animals which contains two germ layers. What are the two germ layers? They are, one is the ectoderm and second one is the endoderm. First one ectoderm and second one endoderm. So the two germ layers are present. These animals are also called the diploblastic animals. Next one, triploblastic animals. Triploblastic means these animals which contain three germ layers in body wall. It is also known as the triploblastic animals. Tri means three germ layers are present in this body wall. So in the body wall, the three germ layers are, they are the, one is the ectoderm and second one is the endoderm and third one is the mesoderm, middle layer. It is the outer body wall. The outer body wall is also called the ectoderm and the middle layer, it is also known as the mesoderm and the inner layer is also called the endoderm. So how many germ layers are present in this body wall? The three germ layers are present. So these three germ layers presenting in this body wall of an organism, it is also known as the triploblastic animals. So these are the differences between diploblastic animals and triploblastic animals. Okay, di means two germ layers are present. In this diploblastic animals, the mesodermal layer is absent, whereas the triploblastic animals, the three germ layers are present. In this additional layer is mesoderm, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So the three germ layers are present. It is also called the triploblastic animals. Okay. Next, the two kinds of cells are present in this all animals. One is the prokaryotic cell and second one is the eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So the two kinds of cells or types of cells presenting in this all living organisms. Prokaryotic cells and second one is the eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells means without distinct nuclei. Without distinct nuclei, it is also called the prokaryotic cells. The nucleus is absent, whereas the eukaryotic cells with distinct nuclei. Distinct nuclei, it is also known as the eukaryotic cells. The nucleus is present. Okay, these are the two kinds or two types of cells, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells means without distinct nuclei, and second one eukaryotic cells means with distinct nuclei. These are the two kinds of cells. So today class is completed. Today we will discuss the levels of organization, phylums in kingdom Animalia, and prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Next one, phylums. Okay, these are basic points in zoology. So tomorrow we will discuss further basic concepts. Thank you.